martial world. My name is Michelle Manu, and you're watching the Masters Hall of Fame World News. Today I'm joined by Si-Gung Angel Valezquez. Thank you, Si-Gung, for being here with us.
Nice to be here with you.
Well, we're going to jump right into it and ask you, Si-Gung, what is your progression in martial arts studies?
Well, I started practicing martial arts when I was 9 years old, give and take. I was a very hyper kid. And basically that was one of the reasons they put me to do martial arts, and that kind of settled me down a little bit. At one time I went to military school, and that's when they really introduced me to the martial arts. Little by little we started practicing there. Obviously we didn't went by ranks.
Yeah.
You know, it was more of a, you know, you learn as you go.
Sure.
And then back in the day, there was a affiliation called Red Dragon down there in Mexico.
Oh yes.
So this affiliation was formed, or the president, it was Cisneros, Master Cisneros from Mexicali. And he was the one who was teaching the system Kuen down there in Mexico. It was a little bit watered down, you know, but still it was the essence of the system. Exactly. So that was one of the first styles that I started practicing. Then when I came up here to the States, I practiced a couple of months with Grandmaster Douglas Wong.
Okay.
Then he referred me with Grandmaster Eric Lee, and I also practiced, you know, a couple of years with him. And then I had the opportunity to stay with my mentor right now, and my teacher, that is Si-Gung, and he is actually the person responsible of the system, and that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, wonderful. So what would you say made you fall in love with martial arts? Was it just something you felt you needed, or was there this one point in your life where you knew it would be a lifestyle for you?
Well, you know, it's one of those things that when you're growing up, you see those movies, right? You see everybody kicking, punching, and you want to be a superhero, you know, and basically that's what you want to be, you know. One of the first movies, I don't remember the title of the movie, but it kind of piqued my, you know, kind of interest on because one of the things says, if you practice Kung Fu, you need to defend the poor and the weak. And I go, like, oh, that's kind of cool, because I always been with, that's the closest thing to be a superhero. That is true. You know, because to me it was Superman, Batman, all those kind of guys. And obviously I cannot wear a cape.
Yes, you could.
Only Halloween, right? So when I started seeing martial arts, and the teacher that I had at that time, he was a very strong, he had a very strong character, and obviously, you know, that kind of made me fall more in love on the art, especially because he was a type of person that he was really old school. You know, if he taught you a kick or a punch, he didn't explain to you to the air. He actually did it with you. And then you kind of like, okay, and then you need to block it, and then you do it over and over again, and that type of thing. So the aggressiveness of the Kung Fu kind of liked me. That when I came up here to the States, I was surprised though, because everybody has the understanding or the misinterpretation where they don't study the art, you know, the essence of the art, that Kung Fu is they say a soft style, and I don't think it's a soft style. I think it's more a fluid style, you know. And obviously everybody has their own interpretation, you know. But for my experience, you know, when I saw my first Kung Fu teacher, I didn't saw nothing soft of it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
Maybe they're looking at the mainstream, what's really shown in movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There is that flow, but there's also the release of force.
Exactly.
Very beautiful.
Yes, I was saying that it's one of those things that is a different thing from someone that knows the system or the style. You know, I guess when we talk about the style or is the things that you put together to make the system together. Right. And what happens that the majority of the people, they get confused with that. You know, what is the style and what is the system? So in my case, I learned first the style, and now I'm learning the system. Right. A lot of people, they want to know forms, weapons, and more weapons, more forms, more weapons, more forms, but they're missing the essence of what it is, the ABCs. And I feel that once, I feel that once you learn the ABCs, of the essence of the art, I think you can do any type of sentences as long as you have those, the essence of what it is. I mean, that's my own personal point of view.
I can relate.
That,
Absolutely. Without a foundation, I mean, think of a home.
Exactly.
You know, with a poor foundation or no foundation or a foundation on sand, as biblically, you know, the Bible talks about. It's not a great foundation. You won't stand. So I completely understand.
Exactly.
So you are an extremely successful businessman in the martial arts community, and yeah, suck it up, don't say anything yet. But I was wondering if you would share with our audience a little bit about what makes you successful. What are some of the ingredients that you've learned over the years that have made you more successful and keep you enjoying what you do?
Well, I had one of my greatest teachers was my father. You know, and he always said to me that I can rest, but I cannot quit. You know, I guess that I always have focus on the 3 P's. I guess, you know, and when I say the 3 P's, it means practice, practice, and keep practicing until I get it correctly.
So practice cute.
Exactly, you know, exactly. So, you know, a lot of people, they kind of ask me the same question, you know, it's like, well, how do you do it? And I guess it's not how you do it, it's I guess how long you maintain yourself and you get to a certain age that you said, I did it. You know, because the victory and defeat is only temporary. So I don't see it as me being a successful person. I see it as that maybe at this particular point in time, I'm just at the right moment with the right type of people that need me. And rather than that, you know, I just keep working hard. And sometimes, you know, you do fall down and you get up and you do your thing, and you go like I said, you know, like my father said, you know, I can take a break, but not give up. And basically, that's pretty much it.
That's your motto.
I guess so.
Now, do you impart that to the children that you teach?
Oh, definitely, definitely. That's one of the things. I do personal training as well. And that's one of the first things that I integrate on the system.
Yeah.
You know.
In your curriculum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you can rest, but you cannot quit. You know, the 3 rules of Kung Fu, I put listen, think, and do. You know, so I keep saying that to the kids when I practice that with the kids. So, and I take it that for myself. You know, obviously, it, you know, is a programming thing. You know. And we look for that goal, and obviously sometimes, like you said, you know, sometimes we fall down, we get up, and we keep moving forward. But I guess that's pretty much what it is, you know, keep working hard, and I think the parents and the people see that type of thing. Yes, definitely. And I guess it's a team effort. It's not just myself. It's a team effort.
It's the parents supporting you.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
So I just want to know, how many, could you share with our audience, how many high schoolers, high school age students you have, and also, you know, grammar school and junior high age students?
What if, how do you say, what if the tax people come in?
Was integrity somewhere on those virtues that you just mentioned? No. You don't have to get specific.
Our school is very successful. We, like I said, we've been working really, really, really hard, you know, and it's like everything, you know, sometimes you come in and you see 25 kids in a classroom, and then you come the next day, maybe you see 1.
Sure.
You know, and it's one of those things, you know. But, you know, they say, my father always used to say, on type of piece, you sharpen your arrows, you know. So I take it as when you're doing good, you know, you save your money. So when you're doing bad, you can keep the school going.
Why do you love to teach children?
Whew. You know, because it's a personal satisfaction that nobody can take away.
Beautiful.
You can give example. I always talk about my father because my father gave me so much for me to learn from him. You can give money, you can give clothes, you can give any type of material things to anybody, and eventually that will grow old or disappear or will break.
Why do you love to teach the kids?
Well, because like I said before, you know, I guess it's a personal satisfaction that nobody can take away. I was saying earlier that you can give any type of material things, you know, and eventually they will go away or will disappear or they will break. But the knowledge that you give on the art, you know, that will stay for them forever.
Yes.
it will pass years and years, and they will have kids.
Yes.
And those students that had kids, they will say, I remember when I was practicing, and as soon as they say that, they will remember their teacher. You know, so I see it like that. You know, I see as me giving something that
invaluable.
Exactly. You know, and besides, I think that I was honored enough for me to have this knowledge, and I think it will be the best way for me to pass it on.
Pass it on.
Exactly.
Yeah. You sent me, this is a side note, audience, you don't even know I'm going to mention this, but Angel one morning sent me this amazing video of some of his students, and they were all the younger kids, well, probably from junior high and younger, just having a blast. It almost looked like I don't know how to do, like a children's gym. They're all doing different workouts and just having a great time, and I really loved that video.
Nice. Well, you know, I tried to make we have different type of programs in the class. The first program is the introduction to Kuen, to the system and the style that we practice. Obviously, you know, we have to do it a little bit more Americanized.
Sure.
Because if we do it too traditional, you know, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, with the type of background that we have, we try to make the classes a little bit fun, you know, punching and kicking, a lot of games, but all of them focusing towards, you know, obviously towards the martial arts.
Sure.
The problem that we have sometimes is that sometimes the parents, they want one thing for the child, and the child wants another thing.
Right.
Example, we have an MMA class, and then we have the Kung Fu class.
Sure, traditional.
Exactly. MMA, modern art, you know, to a certain point,
Sure.
and Kung Fu, you know, old art. So the parents come and say, well, you know, I want to put my kid in MMA. And you see the profile of the child, and you see that is not, mentally he's not ready, mentally he's not mature, you know, for him to be in that type of environment. It's not that it's a bad environment, it's a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, combat.
Exactly. And that's the only problem sometimes that I say to the parents, well, if you give me the opportunity for me to explain what the difference and whatnot.
Right, that's very good. So you're not just educating the kids, you're educating the parents as well.
Well, actually, they educate me.
Sure, I mean, it's kind of like an exchange.
Yes, the less I know, I always say, the less I know, the better I'm. So.
Isn't that so true? Oh, well, you know a lot, and you've been recognized quite a bit, almost by, if not 6 different halls of fame. I was wondering if you would talk a little bit about your inductions,
yes,
if you want to do it specifically, or just what they've meant to you.
Well, in general, our school was considered 5 stars for 2 years in a row by the top school in all California by Senator Barbara Boxer.
Okay.
She sent us the whole thing. And for the Taekwondo Federation also, they flew me to Vegas. I was really surprised because they treated me really, really nice. And you know, the funny thing is, well, not funny, but the weird thing is that, you know, I'm a foreigner, obviously. So for me to be taught or to be in front of people as your caliber, you know, I'm totally, you know, I'm honored because I used to see all of you guys on magazines and videos and little shows and here and there. Like the picture that I sent you, I found that like tons and years ago. And I'm going to tell the audience a little scenario that happened. A couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago, we had invited us to a grand opening, and I was by Michelle. And it didn't occur to me that it was Michelle until I got home and I started suing the magazine, and voila, it was Michelle. I go like, wow. So
hopefully that doesn't mean I've aged too much.
No. What I mean by that is that all of you guys that we don't know the impact that we do. And you say, what was your motivation to fall in art with the martial arts? And it's all of that. It's not just one person. I hear that a lot of people say, oh, Bruce Lee and this and that, and that's fine, you know. But to me, it was a whole
accumulation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, never thought to meet in person, you know, Grandmaster Douglas Wong.
Yes. Let alone train under him.
Exactly. You know, he was a teacher of the teacher of one of my teachers.
Yes.
So one of those things. And now
Eric Lee.
Eric Lee. Now for me to be learning under and to be the direct disciple of Si-Gung Ma, that is the grandson of Art Wong, that is the founder of the Kuen system.
Well, my next question is, what is something that you love about the martial arts community?
Well, meeting all great people like yourself.
Thank you.
Meeting all the thing is that the more martial art people you meet is who you become later on in the future. You know, you pick little things that you like, little characters, little things, and that builds you. And also you see the things that you don't like.
Sure.
And those are the ones that you pick and whatnot. I guess I see martial arts almost, I don't want to say like a religion, but you know, it's one of those things that you have your strong beliefs. You know, sometimes you gain more backup from your martial artist family than your own family.
Correct.
I understand that this case is my case, but I have seen that before. And you sometimes, the camaraderie that you have in martial arts, you know, and the nice thing of it, I guess, that you can go both ways.
Sure.
You know, since the fighting art, you know, if you don't like somebody and if the other person has the ability to back up whatever they're saying, you can kind of interchange things. And it doesn't mean, because and that's the other thing. It's funny though, because what I love of martial arts is that everybody thinks because you have a black belt, oh, that was back in the day, when you had a black belt, you were a Superman. And my dad used to say to me all the time, he says, blind punch defeats master. You know, it doesn't matter how much you train, it doesn't matter how much you kick. You know, the other guy can go like this and hit you at the right time, at the right spot, and you're gone.
That's correct.
You know, so that keeps me a little bit more humble, you know, and more realistic. And basically, I think if it was not for martial arts, I think I would be a totally different type of person. So I guess that's why I love martial arts.
I agree. I'd be a totally different person too. I'd be behind bars probably. Well, you know, what's something that
What kind of bars? This kind of bars?
Well, first it would have been that, and then it would have been like this. And someone probably would have been hurt, not myself, but someone else. Anyway. What is something that our audience doesn't know about you? Is there something you can share?
Of course, they don't know my pet's name.
Oh, okay. Well, they can guess.
No, well, you know, I guess that what they don't know is that I guess is that right now the system, our system, our style is going through big changes. You know, I always have thought that whatever doesn't evolve, it dies.
Yeah.
So to a certain point, you have to evolve without losing the essence of what it is.
I agree.
And our system right now, the head of our system is Grandmaster Si-Gung Ma, that he's trying to restructure the whole thing. And it's like everything, politics here and there,
Sure, of
you
course.
know. But I mean, it comes
The ugly part of the martial arts
exactly.
community.
But it's like everything else. We're human beings.
It's in everything.
You know. So basically, that's what the art is heading for right now. Tai Sifu is trying to organize, to put everything together, to give a better service to those people that are interested on really learning the art.
Sure.
It's a very beautiful art without taking anything to any other arts, because I think that all the other arts are beautiful on their own.
Beneficial.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's one of those things. At one time, I tried to practice a Shotokan. You know, not for me.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
and yet it's for someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So the beauty of the Kuen is really nice. I guess to a certain point, it's a young style. It's not a very old style. It's not like Hungar or all these other styles that you can go back in centuries and see the history. It's a young style. I mean, and I'm still learning.
Yeah, sure. Are we all?
Exactly. So basically, I guess to a certain point, that's what is coming. You know, on the art. You know, and hopefully the people will accept it, and hopefully people will understand that we have to evolve, but without losing, you know, the essence.
It's interesting. Your system isn't the only system going through this right now. I think it has a lot to do with our aging masters and wanting to make sure that the systems are ready for the successors.
Exactly.
For us to step up. And
you know, I think what is happening is that without taking merit to any martial artist, Back in the day, I guess, when, let's say if you bring up Bruce Lee nowadays,
Yes.
you know, he's obsolete. And it's not, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm better than him. Because,
I totally understand, but we're so far advanced.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
Thanks to his work.
Exactly. Because he opened the eyes to cross training, to all this kind of exactly. So when we come to the art that we practice, obviously we cannot be practicing the art the same way that we practiced back in the day because we as humans we're evolving.
Right.
I do personal training. So before, back in the day, personal training is that you used to go and you sit somebody on the machine and you tell them how to do the weights.
Yes, how many to do.
Exactly. Or the cardio classes. I don't know if you remember back in the day.
I absolutely remember.
You know, they're
actually used to teach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back, only on that, if you go back and you see the evolution of that.
Yes.
If you start practicing, imagine going to a cardio kickboxing class or to aerobic class the way that you used to dress back in the 80s or 90s or, you know, those, everybody was like, okay, so I guess that the art has to evolve, but without losing the essence.
Correct.
It's like when you do a sandwich.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you put mayo. I don't like it with mayo, but the essence of the sandwich is the bread.
Right.
As long as you have that, that will be considered a sandwich. At least that's my point of view. And at least that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect. So what can the martial world expect from you in the near future?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I'm just living one day at a time. I have short-term goals.
Perfect.
Like I said, it's not what I can offer. Is the thing is if I can maintain myself. Yeah. That's the way that I consider my success. You know, if you can, because a lot of people, again, you know, you asked me kind of the same question earlier, you know, of the art, and it's not how I'm doing now, it's how I'm gonna, by the end of my days, you know, because everybody can do well, you know, and everybody can expect a lot of things from you know,